Moving on now, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen made an unannounced visit to Ukraine and met with President Vladimir Zelensky and other government officials. She reaffirmed United States support for Ukraine, saying America will stand with Ukraine as long as it takes. Yellen has also announced that the United States is transferring an additional $1 billion to Kiev. More in our next report.
As we mark 1 year since the beginning of this full-scale invasion, the message I bring you from President Biden is simple. America will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen swept into Kyiv on Monday in a surprise visit to reaffirm U.S. support for Ukraine as it fights Russia's invasion, highlighting U.S. economic aid that is bolstering Ukraine's war effort.
And today I'm proud to announce the transfer of an additional amount of over $1.2 billion. That's the first tranche of about $10 billion in direct budget support that the United States will provide in the coming months.
Yellen met with President Volodymyr Zelensky and Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal. Shmyhal said the two discussed further U.S. sanctions on Russia, as well as confiscating frozen Russian assets. Yellen's visit comes a week after U.S. President Joe Biden staged his own unannounced trip to Kyiv and promised $500 million in additional military aid for Ukraine and new sanctions on Russia announced days later, including effectively banning U.S. imports of Russian aluminum. Yellen visited Kyiv on her way back to Washington from a G20 finance leaders meeting in India, where she urged counterparts to boost economic aid to Ukraine and insisted that G20 ministers issue a strong condemnation of Russia's invasion.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.